What's up everybody, the Destroyer here, and welcome back to another cast of the Rise of the Witch King, patch 2.02, version 5.0.1. Today we have a 2v2 on Far Harad, which is a pretty cool map. So, hopefully this is a good game. Let's see, we have our first player, kYGo, as Angmar there, and his teammates, Asba, as the Dwarves in the bottom left. Top left, we have Belsebub as Dwarves as well. And then we have Mental as Angmar. Wait a second, we have Angmar, Dwarves, Dwarves. So we have a double mirror on both sides. Weird. Okay, well, we'll see who's got the superior tactics, I guess. Or perhaps superior teamwork as a 2v2. So we'll see. Anyway, our first player here, Asba, going for a Hall of Warriors. Immediately, guys queued up to go next to the mine when they get finished there. And his teammates, kYGo, going for a Hall of the King's Men. Getting some spam out there. Looks like he's gone for a bit more of an economic start there, as his enemy has already got a thrall on the way. So that will be out shortly, and then he can send that across the map, of course. So Mental will have a slight advantage in timing. And of course Belsebub going for some Guardians as well from his Hall of Warriors. Where's the... yeah, I was going to say, we have to find the forward mines for the Dwarves here. Belsebub using his builder probably to scout for forward mines, it looks like. Looks like he's also built one. Nope, that's Asba's. That looks like a purple flag from here. The back of it looks purple. It's the lighting, I guess. It's actually a blue flag. Purple is Belsebub though, that's why I was confused. Belsebub throwing it out of mine chat here. Unfortunately though, Asba does have some Guardians out in the field and they should be able to stop this from happening. Yeah. Belsebub cancelling that, getting his builder out of there. Well, that's an immediate advantage to Asba, I'd say. He's gotten Belsebub's builder out of there, slowed down his forward mine progress. Although he does not want to send his Guardians up to the Spiderlings, I don't think. Well, unless he does. I guess he's going to creep the spider layer with the Guardians. Possibly wants the signal fire and the spider layer money. I guess you can't blame him for that. Belsebub sending his guys on foot, it looks like. Not having a forward mine, of course. And I'm sure he has a rally call ready to go when that does happen. Meanwhile, on the side of the map, we have Wolf Riders being brought out from... I've already forgot. Is it kYGo? Yeah. kYGo. Mental has not Guardians, what are they called? Gundabad Warriors. No one has captured the outpost in the center as of yet. But, of course, these Wolf Riders are going to demolish these guys. He's going to need some pikes, which looks like Mental has immediately gotten. Unfortunately, though, he is up against some Gundabad Warriors in his base. And, of course, the Gundabad Warriors are better than the pikes. But there are some Gundabad Warriors of Mental's own, as well as some Axe Throwers here. And he does have a second Hall of the King's Men. So he's thrown it down to kind of defend this side of the farm there, the mill. So that's a good strategy. It's far away from his fort, but it is kind of helping secure his base a little bit. kYGo throwing down another Hall of the King's Men. Unfortunately, though, Mental is barreling down on him. Looks like Mental will pull back, though, for now. Although they are still engaging in the center here. Although pikes being brought in, these Wolf Riders not going to do a whole lot. As you see, they drop like flies to them. Oh, we have some Direwolves being brought in. Direwolves, of course, are good against pikemen. So if these choose to go for the Rudar Spearmen, I'd imagine they do fairly well. Since that's the unit. The Direwolves, oddly enough, are made to counter. Unlike all the rest of the wolf units that are good against swordsmen. That one is not. We do have a Prince Brand being brought up from Belsebub. Definitely a good choice. The quicker you can get your Prince Brand against an enemy dwarf, the better. Generally speaking, you want a Brand, you want Zealots, and later on, I guess, Men of Dale if you can get them. But Brand and Zealots are pretty key in a Dwarven 1v1, I should say, and Dwarven Mirror. I've been told that, at least. I don't tend to do that myself because I'm a scrub and I always forget that strategy when I start playing, but I think I see the logic in that. There's quite a bit of logic in that, in fact, actually. Zealots are very strong. course, you don't want to rush too fast into them. Axors and Guardians with Prince Brand. I was mixing up King Dane and Prince Brand. Do fairly well though. Now we have a forward mine here, kind of forward. It's more towards the center. He has a Prince Brand as well, and he's also bringing out more guys here. Fair amount of guys. So Asba will push back any guys there and push forward. It looks like the teal guy has the outpost. Mental does. So the top right guy is still benefiting from the outpost for now, until someone decides to either take it from him or knock it down. He's also expanding his mill production out this far. Looks like Belsebub's brought his army out over here. With his forward mine over here, he's pushing forward into the base of kYGo here. For some reason I keep forgetting the players' names. Normally I don't have this big of an issue. I did just cast the game last game and I didn't have any issues remembering people's names, and all of a sudden, no clue who anyone is. Anyway, kYGo will have the defense. Hopefully he has the defense necessary to fend off Belsebub here. Buff dwarves can always be difficult to get out of your base, as you would expect. He's got some dire wolves there, as well as a few Axors. Rebuild being thrown down to try and save the Hall of the King's Men. Will it be enough, though? And then we do have the teammate Prince Brand here, as well as some Guardians from Asba as well, pushing forward to try and get Belsebub's stuff out of here. He's got to get this forward mine out of here, or Belsebub's going to keep pumping troops out. I'm sure they're very aware of that. The direwolves being sent after the builder. Good choice, as the builder will not be able to outrun those direwolves, and they kill them off fairly quickly. They do also have the spike collars, not very used very often. It's fairly cheap though. It just makes them a bit tankier, the direwolves. Doesn't give them a damage boost or anything. Now Belsebub is fending off an attack over here. Looks like he has brought his brand over here though. That should help out with these Guardians, especially with the Axor support. It looks like he's just left Brand to do his work. So Brand will just sit there and level up as he pleases, I guess. Meanwhile, we have a big attack from Mental on the bottom left player, Asba. So Angmar looking to do a bit of damage if he can get rid of this mine, which it looks like he will pretty easily. That cuts off, of course, the forward mine network of Asba. And he might even get the Hall of Warriors, which would be a nice pickup as well. That would definitely cripple Asba a little bit. I think he actually might get it. He did use his rebuild already on his teammate as well. His Prince Brand just now showing up, but he will lose his Hall of the King's Men, or Hall of Warriors rather. So that's a big loss for the Dwarves in the bottom left. Meanwhile, we do have a attack into the base of Mental here. So he's chasing down the builder of Mental. He could throw down a wall hub to save his builders if he wanted to. Looks like he sent another builder right into the smack dab in the center of the army of the enemy. Yeah, maybe those weren't the enemy. I don't know. But one player does have Black Numenorians. Who is this? Is this kYGo's? Yeah. kYGo has Black Numenorians, which of course are very strong swordsmen. Definitely an upgrade from the Good or Bad Warriors. And we also have some Guardians from Asba here, taking out this level 1 Hall of the King's Men on this side of the place. Mental throwing down another one, probably anticipating him losing that one. And now Belsebub's building up a fairly sizable force of Dwarves in the front of Asba's base here. He definitely has a superior army. Throwing down the rally call. Ooh, getting hit with a big ol' slam shot. Does kill a fair amount of the Axors, but a fair amount of them live as well, so not too big a deal. And Belsebub has his Prince Brand targeting down the other Prince Brand. Prince Brand is not very tanky, so I mean the other Prince Brand can pick him off fairly easily. And actually Belsebub's is one level higher as well, so he has more life as well. So he has the advantage there, definitely. Oh, I thought that was a direwolf. Nope, those are though. Some direwolves from kYGo sent over here to the base of Belsebub, possibly to do a little damage to the mine network or something. And now Belsebub going for a big attack on Asba's base. Asba just now recuperating from the attack from Angmar. Now, once again, he will probably lose his buildings. Although he just got some wall hubs around his fort at least. That will help negate some damage from his fortress. To his fortress, rather. Looks like Mental is recuperating a bit as the other guy is pulled off. So kYGo going in to attack, or defend his ally, actually. He's actually got Dark Rangers, though. Dark Rangers and Black Numenorians, a very strong combo. I personally like to go for the Sorcerers against Dwarves. I think it's fairly well utilized. It does a lot of damage. Of course, for him, he's facing Angmar. Against Angmar spam, it could be useful too, I guess, but less so. Because those big attacks from the Corpse Rain aren't actually as good against spam units. They can just be replaced pretty easily. As where a pricey unit like a Dwarven Guardian or Axor or something, it's much juicier target, as you would expect. Here goes down the rally call on the army there. 2 armies, in fact. And they'll push Belsebub out of the area. Trying to get rid of some of these forward mines. Looks like Belsebub is setting up shop over here, actually. He's even having a statue. And mine shafts everywhere. Fortunately for Belsebub, though, he has lost the ground there. And we do have an attack from Mental on the base of kYGo here. Throwing down a Snowbind to save the mill. These Dark Rangers are his, of course. kYGo does have some defenders over here, but not really enough. There's 3 battalions, or 4 even, of guys here. I think it's just 3. From Mental. So he's definitely going to need more guys in the back if he wants to save this. Those Axors are getting absolutely butchered. Dark Rangers are going to be his savior over here if he keeps him alive. We do have a mine network connection over here for Asba as well, so he can get over to his ally if he needs to. Of course, he's going to need to defend himself against Belsebub, who has a increasingly sizable force in conjunction with his ally Mental in the center here. And that builder gets slaughtered. So kYGo losing a builder. It's another 500 resources he doesn't want to spend on builders, but will have to if he wants to get a second builder back, unless that was a third or something, or his only. Have no idea, to be honest. Let's take a look at PowerPoints and stuff while we're at it. While we see a big attack on the Dwarven base up here of Belsebub. Like a snowbind being thrown down there. Alright, Belsebub the Dwarf has summoned Hobbit allies, rally call, 2 PowerPoints, 470 of 350, so he's way over command point cap, as he's lost a lot of mine shafts. kYGo, the bottom right Angmar player, has Fellwind, Snowbind, rally call, 5 PowerPoints, so he's doing fairly well on the PowerPoint front. 2 of 62 of 400 troops. Mental, the Angmar player in the top right, has Fellwind, Snowbind, rally call, 5 PowerPoints at 522 of 700, so he's doing very well, economy-wise and army-wise. And Asba, the dwarf player in the bottom left, has Rebuild, Heal, Rally Call, 6 PowerPoints, 300, 600. So his economy is okay, and his army is alright, as you see there. And he is beginning to push north. Belsebub's army is fairly sizable, even though his economy is not. So that's good for him at least. He's by no means a pushover. He's going to have an attack on his base, though. Will he pull back and defend? He's pulling back just Prince Brand. Should be enough, actually. As well as Mental's guys there. And now they're going to try and double Asba here. It might be a very critical double. And as you see, they're putting their guys together so they can get double buffs. Just 1 buff to buff both armies. You always want to do that with your ally if you can. It's good teamwork. And of course it's very economical and saves powers, as you would expect. We have a Prince Brand show-off here. Showdown. Looks like the Prince Brand from a southern team is going to flee. Of course his base is in a lot of trouble as well. Mental's army getting fell-winded there. Of course there's nothing really there to do anything with. And now we have the Dwarven Zealots out for Asba. This is definitely what he needs. Zealots are so good against the armies of Dwarves. As you see there, the tank Axors pretty well is also killing off these Guardians easily. And if they get up to a Prince Brand, they will mutilate him. And of course they can be pulled back once they're low on life to be healed up by Hearth. Or just if once they level up, they'll start regenerating their armies. But Belsebub's army is being absolutely destroyed by them. So definitely a good choice by Asba. And I think Belsebub should answer in kind and do the same. Looks like he is going to do that. He's going to upgrade to a Hall of the King's Men. Or upgrade his Hall of Warriors, rather. To get some zealots of his own. As he really does need them. But he does have some guys to deal with in his base as of yet. These guys are level 3. They can actually use the charge. These guys are level 3 as well. Ooh, big shot by Prince Bran, though. Killing a lot of the Guardians. But a fair amount of them will live another day. Live to fight another day, rather. I guess they will live another day. I wasn't wrong. We have some Men of Dale from, looks like Asba here. That should fend off a lot of Mentals, Dark Rangers fairly well. Sheer amount of arrows. Dark Rangers are better, I think, in general archery, but of course that many of them will do better. Regardless of how good they are, they're not good enough to face 4 battalions of archers. And 2 battalions of Ronin Zealots still running around, running amok. And Mental's attack probably not do so well at that point. We do have a Waldar for kYGo here. He's up to level 1. And he's got to be a little bit careful. Don't want to go right into the middle of those guys. But I'd say the southern team is picking up steam here. The army compositions are getting better and better. With the Zealots and the upgraded brand. And of course the Summon Men of Dale is a useful power as well. We also have a hero out for the southern Angmar, where I don't think Mental has one. He's going for just spam and Dark Rangers, which is not a bad idea. But, I mean, if the southern team starts getting Dark Rangers as well, he'll have a hero also. Giving his guys buffs. His Hillman guys, at least. That's not going to end pretty for the northern team, I don't think. And we do have a Gloin, though, for Belsebub, as well as a Prince Brand that's level 6. So he's pushing him with that. And he has some actual Men of Dale now. So we'll see how well that does. And he also got his Zealots at this point. Really needed that to help even the odds here. Looks like he's built a forward mine, getting his Zealots out there. And now he'll begin pushing in against Asba. Where's Asba's force? Are they in the mine? Some of them are. So he can demolish that mine shaft to keep him from destroying it, although Gloin does level up off it anyway. The army of Mental still up here. It's fairly smaller than the last time I saw. This is all Mental's army is consisting of right now. Interesting enough, he actually upgraded this Hall of the King's Men, which is farthest away from the fortress. But I guess it does give it more life. Of course, it does get Arrow Tower, and there's Arrow Tower on that as well. So that's actually a decently defensive area. Owen being thrown down on the army there, and Summon Whites being summoned in from kYGo there. This should make short work of that. Meanwhile, Belsebub going for an attack on Asba. See how well he does. Looks like a decent amount of damage is being done to the fort. Gloin focusing it down here. Looks like the Axlors are doing the same. Although some of the Axlors are targeting the wall hub, which is a bit of a mistake, in my opinion. He will not get that wall hub destroyed with the wall, those guys there. And a heal being thrown on Gloin. I don't think he's going to have time to get rid of Gloin before destroying this fortress. Even with the Zealots. Oh, he does the rebuild, though. Will the Zealots manage to destroy it? Oh, the Snowbind for the win. And unfortunately, the Zealots will kill off Gloin unless they retreat. They are taking a lot of axe damage. Buffed axe damage, no less. It was a good attack by Belsebub, but not quite enough, unfortunately for him. We do have Summon Hobbits as well. Also helping out Belsebub's cause there. Will Gloin get away? I'm thinking, yeah. Luckily for him, that's going to save him a lot of money in the long run. And it looks like Mental actually saving up for a Witch King of Angmar. That's going to make things very difficult for kYGo here, the southern Angmar player. Witch King is super powerful, especially once he hits level 2 even. Just having Dread Wrath, great reduces enemy armor and damage, nullifies enemy leadership, that's pretty huge. So Witch King will be huge here. And of course this AoE swings, also going to cut tons of guys down. So we'll see how kYGo manages to deal with that. Witch King of course is not invincible, but with a huge fell wind, grouping up all those guys, perfect timing for the Witch King to get a huge swing in. That was brutal. Very nice for mental there. I was going to say, like, he's running right into pikemen. That was not a good idea, but since he threw him on the ground, he didn't actually take any damage, and he was able to pretty much kill all of them. So, huge pickup for mental there. Very well played indeed. And now he should have the advantage there, as long as he keeps pressing the attack. kYGo will continue to lose ground. kYGo has to contend with these Dark Rangers also, which is not ideal. Even though he has a wall dart, he is not going to be quite enough. He's got Dark Rangers of his own though, so he's not defenseless or anything. And there is kYGo's. Ooh, nice. He combined it with the arrow volley, doing a lot of damage to the army of mental there. And there's very few Dark Rangers left there. Although the Witch King's continuing to kick ass and take names, even against the buff dwarves. Of course, he doesn't want to stand there too long. You could take him off his horse, but that just slows him down. Quite frankly, it's still worth it to keep him on his horse, in my opinion. Yeah, out come the Dwarven Zealots. 3 battalions of them, in fact, from the other team there. Will they take down the Witch King? It is possible. As you see, the Witch King was doing huge amounts of damage, but he was also taking huge amounts of damage. And he's going to have to retreat into the north. Leaving the Zealots to clean up the rabble here. Very nice. How's Belsebub's army doing here? He's got 1 battalion of Zealots. He's going to need more than that, I think. He can get up to 3, I believe, since the other guy had 3. Only 3 Zealots are allowed at one time. Yep, that would be correct. He has a lot of actual men of Dale, though. These aren't summoned, so they'll do fairly well. So this attack should be fairly effective. There's not much of a defense over here. Well, now there is. That changed fairly rapidly. There's a couple wolves, coyotes, whatever they are. Probably wolves. And the summon men of Dale is along with the Guardians and Phalanxes there, getting rally called. They will chase Belsebub off. Definitely a deterrent. He doesn't want to face that if he doesn't have to. There goes the rally call. Actually, that's a war chant. Same thing though. Witch King just running around, negatively debuffing these guys. Actually, that debuff is pretty long. It's pretty far-ranging debuff. kYGo's going to have increasingly amounts of trouble here, trying to attack mental with the Witch King around. I mean, Thralls aren't particularly tanky anyway, and the Witch King making everyone else weak as hell, as well as able to just slaughter them himself. And of course, once he once he gets to level 4, he can use Morgul Corruption. So he could use that on say Waldar or something. It'll poison him in place, and if he dies, of course, he'll turn into a white, which is never a bad thing. Witch King's so good he can just run into pikemen. That's how good the Witch King is. He's very expensive for a reason. Of course, Rudar pikemen aren't very strong anyway, but still. It is mainly the aura he has keeping him alive, I could say. But as you see there, mental cleaning up fairly nicely. kYGo having not much chance against the Witch King of Angmar and his armies. And now Belsebub has some zealots here, absolutely wrecking the shit of Prince Brand. Heal going down, trying to save him. Will it be enough? If you get zealots on Prince Brand, they drop him quick. He drops fast, so you gotta be very careful. Although we have a lot of men of Dales here for Belsebub still. And without Prince Brand to counter him, he should do fairly well. Prince Brand does very well for countering archers, in my opinion. Although Zealot attack going out. We have a summoned hobbits from Belsebub here as a defense force, I'm guessing. As well as some zealots being brought out. Trying to get rid of some of these phalanxes. And they drop fairly quickly also. Belsebub also bringing out some men of Dale there. Ooh, a blight being thrown down. It's an interesting place for a blight to be thrown down. It's not going to kill any of these. I'm going to assume that was just used. Ooh, we have a barrage ready to be used by Belsebub there. No, that was not just used, okay. I was going to say, why would you throw it down there? No, he actually used that at an earlier time. It just lasts a very long time. So they walked right into it. Of course, Zealots don't really take much damage from that at all, so not too big of a deal. The Witch King is just still slaughtering hordes and hordes of guys down here. Definitely a good purchase for Mental. I'd say if kYGo could afford it, he should probably do the same. Fight fire with fire, in my opinion. But of course, he's not cheap. 4,000 resources, assuming you don't have the Ice Doom Pyres, what I'm going to call it. I don't know what it's actually called. That lowers the cost of heroes, just like every other banner and Doom Pyre thing. Then it'd be full cost. Looks like Asba's Zealot's still alive here. Has Belsebub uses Barrage yet? I don't think so. Looks like we have Dwarven Riches out for Asba here. Getting 25% more resources from all his Mineshaft passive ability. Always nice to have. Mental, of course, has his Blight and his Summon Orcs now, which is useful. kYGo is got his Whites and Summon Orcs also. He's sitting at 550 as where the opponent is sitting at 750 resource limit, so definitely Mental's doing better there. And Belsebub did use Barrage at some point. Must have been on an army. Not sure really. Must have been here. Scorch marks. But he has a 550 command point limit as where kYGo has a 550. So they're actually doing fairly similar. No, kYGo's an Angmar player. Asba is the other one, who's 575, so he's slightly ahead command point limit wise. But that's not too big of a deal if they're that close. But Asba will have the stronger economy. Now a big attack, Mental helping out. They're double teaming Asba here. If they can take Asba out of the game, of course, kYGo will have no chance whatsoever. Even being able to cripple him heavily will be a huge blow to the southern team. Asba having no answer for this. Snowbind is really all he had. Now be thrown down and wear off there, of course. Actually, this is mainly just attack from Mental. There's a little bit here. Are these kYGos? Not kYGos, Belsebubs. Belsebub bringing his Zealots through his Undermine there. But Mental really doing a huge amount of damage to Asba. And if you are in a stalemate kind of situation, double teaming an opponent is not a bad option. Especially when you still feel you can defend your base, as he does. He is having not too much issue defending from kYGo, I don't think. Although kYGo has gone for hill trolls now. Very heavy pikeman troll guys. Very strong, especially when given armor, they're very tanky. Of course, they're not going to stand up to the Witch King still, I don't think. But still a good unit to have. And now the Zealots from Belsebub taking out another mine there. And they'll continue pushing down, taking out all the mines they can. Asba has lost a lot of economy. And he's going to continue to lose a lot of economy. He's down to 350 command point limit. He's already command point capped. He can't build any more troops. There we go. He just finished another mine. Fortunately, though, he will lose one here. And he lost one there as well. It looks like Belsebub will take the Signifier as well. So he'll have the power regeneration, which is always good to have, especially when you have something like Barrage. Or even Men of Dale. Any powers, really, are beneficial to have on cooldown quicker. And then the army of kYGo moving in through his allies' territory here. Trying to fend off the Witch King, I'd imagine. The Witch King does not want to go into this army, I don't think. Oh, actually the Felwind missing its mark, throwing the Witch King over the army, and he'll be able to get away pretty easily. That's unfortunate. He was hoping it would have threw him right into the middle of all these pikes, especially these strong pikemen and the hill trolls. Unfortunately, it does completely overshoot. That's gotta suck, because he had a chance to pretty well put him down. I think kYGo actually has himself a Morgamir. Yeah, he does. Morgamir's a good choice. He's a very good hero indeed. He's got the Dread Visage, which pretty much does the same thing. But I believe the Witch King's greatly reduces. Yeah, so it's actually much better. Still, reducing enemy armor damage in any capacity is not a bad thing. And now the Angmar armies will engage each other here, I think. Even though this troop composition of kYGo's is a little better. Oh, he still has his Fell Wind. Of course, kYGo still has his summon Whites as well. Orcs being summoned in on the archer line of kYGo, though, from Mental there. Mental still has a fairly strong Witch King. Oh, he could have finished off Oh, he didn't need to. The other guys did it for him. Witch King has fear as well. He could use that. Unfortunately, Mental completely cleaning up here. Except for the whites. Pretty much all of kYGo's army is dead. Did he pull back his Morgomir? He might have. Yeah, he did. Good choice, because Morgomir would have died. As Waldar shown very suddenly. Now Belsebub pushing down again into the center here. Chasing down some Dwarven Zealots as he goes. Picking them off with some Men of Dale. Wouldn't hurt to go for Fire Arrows upgrade, I would think at this point. But, of course, that does cost money. He's going for Battle Wagons. Interesting. Battle Wagons could pay off. I guess we'll see. Could also use it as a mobile hearth if you wanted to. Which is not bad when you have a bunch of Zealots. Oh, he's actually doing that. Yay, one of my ideas actually was a good one. It's a decent call though. If you're looking to play with your Zealots, and you want to keep them alive, of course, having a mobile hearth is not a bad thing by any means. It looks like Mental's gone for his upgraded Hill Troll Pikeman as well. So now that'll even out the playing field as well for army-wise. Still, would like to see some Sorcerers. That's the thing about most Angmar players, they don't play with Sorcerers, and they should. Although, we do have upgrades, Dark Iron Mail and Dark Iron Blades for Mental, who's gone for the upgrade tree, as where I don't think kYGo has gone for upgrades. He doesn't even have a forge. So, army-wise, that'll be brutal. Just like that Fell Wind into Undermine was pretty brutal as well. Looks like the Zealots trying to fight down Morgomir here. Not going to quite get it done. I think Morgomir will be able to fight them off if he stops. Especially if he uses oh, he doesn't have it yet. Never mind. He's going to fight near the fortress though, which is a good call. He'll have that increased arrow tower, and if he can get this guy killed, yeah, he won't be able to heal them up. And that is a big loss for Belsebub, actually. You don't want to lose a battalion of Zealots, as they're not cheap. They are actually 1,200 apiece, so that is definitely not cheap. Looks like Mental going to the aid of his ally here, trying to fend off whatever attack is in the side here. Look how good these trolls are. The hill trolls absolutely wrecking the enemy army. Of course, with that armor and forge blades upgrades, they do a huge amount of damage. Looks like he's gone for a level 3 archery range, is getting his fire arrows for his Men of Dale, so that's what really needed. I think that'll help out immensely. We have some Men of Dale from kYGo or Asba here. Unfortunately, that will drop a lot of Belsebub's archers. He might want to pull out anything that's still alive through this mine here. Save some force and save some money, as well as power points. How are we doing in powers here? Belsebub does have barrage ready to be used, and he has how many power points? 7 remaining, almost 8. kYGo, this Angmar player in the bottom right, has himself 13 power points. Blight ready to be used by Mental, as well as 24 power points. So I believe he's just about to get Shade of the Wolf or Avalanche, one of the two. I don't remember. I mean, he is going to get one of the two, because Blight is a 15-point power. And we have Asba, who's 5 points, because he's got 15 there. Is Men of Dale 15 or 10? It's a 15, I believe. Unless Dwarven Rich is 15, I can't remember. I'm going to be quite frank. There's the Fell Wind. Mental's army, unfortunately, Mental's army not going to take too much damage for kYGo. Although Belsebub is going to be able to... Oh, those are Asba's troops. Asba does have his summon Men of Dale here. And there is a summon Gundabad Orcs with a summon Gundabad Orcs on top of it. But, of course, the Witch King's going to make short work of the second summon Orcs. And it looks like these Hill Trolls will finally die off. So Snow Trolls being brought in from kYGo here. Snow Trolls, of course, are great. Oh, no. The Blight's going to slowly turn this army to whites. Unfortunately, the Witch King should have charged in there and just hit him. That would have really brutalized the army of... and did give him poison damage, though. Seems it does persist. drained majority of their life pretty much to nothing. And that army will fall fairly quickly. Has Belsebub used Barrage yet? Possibly. We have Avalanche being purchased for Mental, so he has an Avalanche ready to be used. kYGo still has his Blight as well, and Barrage was used at some point, somewhere. No idea where. I never seem to see the Blight, the Barrages. That's fine though. Let's see how kYGo's attack goes on Mental here. No team has made serious ground as of yet. It's been very back and forth actually. So I'd say they're both doing fairly decent. These hill trolls chasing down Hwaldar and Morgamir. They're not going to catch them though, unfortunately. Looks like Belsebub going for an attack once again. Although we have a large defense force for the other team. I'm going to keep it on a Mental's thing here so I can see when he uses Avalanche. Oh, it seems his Witch King is a bit weak using his Fear there. I wonder where he's going to use Avalanche. It's good against armies and buildings, so he could use it on the base of his enemy, or he could use it on the enemy's army. Just depends on how he decides to spend his power, I suppose. He's defending fairly well, though. His Dark Rangers doing lots of work, as well as his Good and Bad Warriors. Holding ground. Belsebub running around with his 2 heroes. Up to level 8 for Prince Brand, and level 5 for Glorian. If Glorian King gets level 10, oh, things are going to get brutal. Of course, he does some Zealots at level 6 there. Zealots, I believe, go to level 10 as well. So they get their power also. The power of a Zealot is a Berserker Gang. Requires level 7. Zealots gain 50% damage and increased attack and movement speed. So they really go berserk. And they do a lot of damage. They are terrifying once they hit level 7. Ooh, will this builder get away? Barely. I have a feeling Mental's going to use his Avalanche soon. Of course, he's not going to use it on his allies' army. These are both the same team. So really, he needs a juicy target to use it on. I just don't want to miss it. That's a juicy target. Perhaps he'll use it there. Oh, there goes the Blight. That's going to throw Mental's army into a real hurt. As you see, they've all been turned to whites. He's turned on his Fell Wind as well. Opting not to use Avalanche, though. Perhaps Avalanche on the enemy Dwarf team would be good. I don't know. He does still have a reserve army, though. Mental does, so he's not down and out. Of course, that's the power of Blight, though. It's pretty nasty stuff. Turning entire armies to whites, especially when used in the front of a base, can be very devastating. It chain reacts like dominoes, and not the pizza kind. That actually sounds kind of good. I'm hungry. Anyway, let's see. Belsebub pushing in with a few battalions of archers here, and not much else. Probably not going to get very much done with that, I don't think. Belsebub really needs more guys. Like, it seems like he's going very light on the troops. Has he got all his... He hasn't got his upgrades yet either. That would be a wise thing to get. There we go. There's the Avalanche. I heard it. At least got to catch the tail end of it. Looks like there's a lot of dead troops there. So kYGo's army is pretty much crushed at that point. He does have a defense force here, though. As well as some upgrades of his own now. He's got the... I mean, he has Forge Blades. But he doesn't have a Dark Iron Forge level 2. Apparently he's had to rebuild it. Still no sorcerers from either Angmar player, which is really unfortunate. Missed opportunities all across the board. I don't think either of these Angmar players know how good, actually, sorcerers are. Even for the debuff thing. Even if you don't use the Fell Wind. Or not Fell Wind, Corpse Rain. That debuff on the enemy and buff your troops is actually very useful. It can easily help you turn the tide of battle in your favor. And Belsebub's army getting barraged here. Absolutely devastating. That really only leaves Prince Brand and a few stragglers. That'll allow Asba to clean up fairly nicely. Although we do have some hobbits here from Belsebub still. As well as a full battalion of these zealots. Whose are these? Those are Asba's zealots. Being chased off there. Belsebub still has his fort thing here. So we have a frozen land. And we also have a Rogash from kYGo. Rogash is a great hero as well. Witch King being put on his foot there. Actually getting Morgul bladed by Morgamir there. Whew. Witch King actually might fall. That would be a huge blow to Mental. Actually, retaliating in kind. Morgamir is going to pay for that, I think. Oh no, these are kYGo's. Luckily for him. Still, he might not get away because of the Rangers and the Axors. Oh, and he got turned to a white. Unfortunate. But the Witch King was killed. Does Mental have enough to actually bring him back? Well, if he does, or did, he would have already purchased it, but he doesn't now. Of course, he can't really just sit back and save up. He has to keep troops on the field to keep his enemy away from his base. If he stops to save it for the Witch King again, he will continue losing buildings, which would not be ideal. So the Witch King might be out for the count. Down for the count, rather, is the saying goes. Neither player has the ice arrows, I don't think. Do they? No. Those ice arrows are actually pretty good. I would definitely recommend getting those if they have the time. Blight being thrown underneath the frozen land. As you see, it doesn't get rid of it. Neither does Tainted Land or Elven Wood. Frozen land is an entirely different thing. And it does slow the enemy as well. The Frozen Land does. I forget how much. Let's see. Frozen Land gives you a... just says slows the enemy units. It doesn't actually say how much. Chat, we still don't have a decisive winner yet. This game's going on. Hope you brought your popcorn and you're comfortable. Because my god. Eventually there will be some decisive fatal blow to one of the teams, but who knows how long that will take to get there. I knew this was going to be a lengthy game because I knew the replay was lengthy. I think it was like 700 kilobytes or whatever, which is pretty large for a 2v2 replay. So it should at least be an hour or so like that. I don't know how long it's been already. But both teams having troubles finishing. So until one does, they will all live. There you go. Just hit you with some philosophical knowledge. Yeah. Anyway, these men of Dale are going to get picked off by the Dark Rangers fairly easily. Although the Dark Rangers are picking off a few here and there. Not entirely that good against them though. Dark Rangers are a bit better than the Men of Dale. And we have our first catapult, I think, of the game. I'm surprised it's taken this long to get to be honest. But Belsebub bringing out his catapults. He does not take... oh, he does have a... he's purchased flame shot, good. Of course, he will have to keep it defended, and, oh, shit. That's not the first one by any means. He's already got two down here doing some damage. Unfortunately, though, there is a large force from, Asba here. Also throwing up a mine shaft and undermine to try and save his catapult. Unfortunately, it's not going to do the damage. There's too many troops, unfortunately, for Belsebub. His catapults will fall fairly quickly. He's done a decent amount of damage, but it's not going to be enough. Asba's just got too much defense as yet, and he didn't bring enough troops to defend his catapults, unfortunately. Seems he's had to defend a bit over here as well, as Asba is attacking the back of his base. Meanwhile, we have another attack on Mental from kYGo here. kYGo's actually making ground this time. A snowbind being thrown down on the mill here to keep that alive. Of course, it does continue to fire as it is frozen as well, which is convenient. And is continuing to pump out resources, I think. Maybe it doesn't. No, it actually makes one resource. So no, you don't get resources while something's snowbinded. I guess I should have known that already. So Kowaldo is going to try and take down this thing with the help of the trolls. What level's Waller, I wonder? He's level 7. He's almost got his summon helmet off cooldown. And then, of course, he can summon more men into the battle. If Morgamir gets Dark Glory and Ruin, he'll do very well. Ruin is great against buildings. Target enemy building 6 heavy damage or temporarily disabled. Also opens gates. It's just like a Gloin's level 4 Shatterhammer. Shatterhammer. Is it called Shatterhammer? What the hell is it called? I forget. No, Shatterhammer is his last move. Shake Foundation is what it's called. That's right. Well, it looks like kYGo did manage to get that mill there. That's a good pickup. Unfortunately, he didn't really get anything else, I don't think. Maybe he got something over here. He's also killed a lot of troops, that's for sure. Somebody has Earthquake. Belsebub has Earthquake. Oh dear. If Belsebub can get this low enough, he can actually use Earthquake to finish it off. Maybe that's the strategy. Just keep weakening the fort and then use Earthquake on it. But, of course, he has to keep fending off these Zealots, which is not easy. Asba does have himself 12 power points. He does not have anywhere near a 25-point power, though, unfortunately for him. So it's going to be a while before he has that as of yet. Oh, Felwyn with Rogash is also equally brutal, as Rogash has a huge AoE as well. He also has a leap ability, which is pretty nice. Speak of the devil. There it is. kYGo's making huge ground over here against Mental, though. If he keeps it up, Mental will fall. And that will allow them to double team Asba there. So he's done some good damage, but really he needs to keep the pressure up on Mental, or he'll just rebuild his buildings and keep up the counterattack. Of course, his Dark Rangers are just being unchecked and doing massive amount of damage as well. There we go. We have ice arrows being equipped to the archers of kYGo here. Definitely a good choice, as the ice arrows make a huge difference. They do a lot of damage. Doesn't matter if they're weak to fire or not, it still is a boost in damage upgrade. Now Belsebub is fending off these guys here. Oh no, those are his. Okay, never mind. He's got rid of the forward mine though, at least. So he doesn't have to worry about that. Of course, you always have to worry about the surprise attacks from the undermines. Oh, the Witch King actually was brought back out. I wasn't expecting to see him again. Morgamir trying his best to kill the Witch King. Unfortunately, he's an inferior white. Or Nazgul, rather. The king of the Nazguls, of course, being the Witch King. Not going to die today. And Morgamir will have to retreat. As will Rogash. He could capture this as well if he wanted to. And rebuild it. But I think if kYGo keeps up the pressure... Oh, he's brought Troll Stone Throwers. Nice. A bit late to the party, actually. He probably could have used these a lot earlier. And made a lot more ground that way against structures. Looks like there's some Men of Dale from Asba here. They got Rally called. Undoubtedly to fend off whatever Belsebub sent. Belsebub's main bulk of his forces are in his mine shaft. This is one hell of a long game. Has Belsebub ever used his Earthquake? Probably not. He did use Earthquake, but where? If he used it on the Dwarven base, it didn't do a whole lot. Unless it was rebuilt. Looks like Asba still has his... somewhere... there it is. I was going to say, somewhere an avalanche just got thrown down on it. Belsebub and Asba both have a barrage, although Asba just used his. Trying to cripple the production structures of Belsebub, it seems. Not quite finishing it off, though. Asba's up to 19 power points, so he's very close to 25. Once he gets to 25, he might be able to turn things around. Belsebub nowhere near his 25, but he does have the barrage ready. Mental summoning in some orcs to help out. No, these are kYGos. Summoning orcs on top of his ally and then buffing them both. That's even better. And now they will get this level 3 archery range, which is a pretty big pickup there. Of course, cut off the fire arrows and cut off the Men of Dale, if he can manage to get that. And of course, it's not cheap to rebuild either, by any means. Mental moving in across the map, though. Looking to do some damage to the dwarf player over here, while kYGo is helping out his ally. We'll see how well that goes. Belsebub does have a defense cut out for him here. He's still got a lot of guys though. Not a lot, actually. Now that I look at it. Still got some zealots down there as well. And a catapult. Catapult will help out. But the axe towers really was going to be doing the damage on the fort. Wouldn't hurt to upgrade these to masterwork munitions, I'd say. So they'd be doing more damage with their axe towers. Sometimes it's worth it to invest in your fortress upgrades. As you see there, you did defend, but he has lost a lot. So will he be able to recover, I wonder? I guess if Asba is not able to actually finish him off, sure. So we have a blight with a frozen land under it. Or above it, rather. Killing off whatever that was. Looks like a giant. Oh, it probably was a giant. I forget, Angmar has a summon giants ability. So it looks like he went for the attack on the fortress. Didn't quite get it. Unfortunate for him. There's the undermine from Belsebub. He does still have his barrage as well. Of course, he's not going to use it on the little amount of stragglers. Somebody's very close to 25. That would be Asba. Ooh, there's another blight. He needs to get off there immediately. As you see, they just keep chain reacting. Turning white after white, and then they will chase them down. Needs to get out of there quickly. To minimize his casualties. This game is going on for quite some time. This will take a long time to render, I know that much. It's alright though. I don't mind, but still. Looks like Belsebub's pushing in for a counterattack here with a catapult. Of course, the catapult with the fire upgrade does massive amounts of damage to anything it touches, really. Belsebub does have his barrage, keep that in mind, so this army could get hit very hard. Unless he already used it. Unfortunately, though, there it is. They did get buffed, but it'll still kill a lot of men here. Or a lot of dwarves, rather. That significantly weakens the dwarven army there. He does still have all his zealots, though. Which, of course, are not going to want to stay and fight against the army of zealots of Belsebub and the archer support. Of course, he does not have the fire arrows anymore because he doesn't have a level 3 place to build them. He is working on it, though. Looks like. Meanwhile, a lot of Angmar troops against a lot of Angmar troops going on over here. Both players using their fell wind. I'd imagine this will end in a stalemate. Army composition-wise, though, I'd say kYGo has better troops. Oh, the Witch King actually died there. Dying to the hill trolls. As they are very strong pikemen. They are buffed as well. And there's other things hitting them also. That might be what kYGo needed. kYGo's army is vastly superior with armored hill trolls and upgraded Dark Rangers with the ice arrows. He needs to kill his opponents. If he can kill his opponent, the stalemate against the dwarves will break. Unfortunately, though, Rogash does fall there. Unless that was a... Unless Mental got himself a Rogash and I didn't notice. It's possible. But I don't think so. Because I don't see any Rogash on the field for this guy. Forgot his name, kYGo. I know what his name is. I've been in this game long enough, I think I know all the players' names by now. God, my stomach is growling. I think I'll have to go eat after this. Too bad I didn't bring a bucket of popcorn. I could have used it. There's a big arrow volley. That's going to kill a lot of guys. Very nice. And it looks like Mental's giving up here. Finally succumbing to the might of the Southern Angmar team. He fended off very, very long. He probably could have fended it off even. But looks like he's given up. Given up hope. And unfortunately that leaves Belsebub by himself against a very well-equipped army of Angmar and a very well-equipped army of dwarves. I don't see that ending well for Belsebub, I'm going to be honest. Oddly enough, they're just leaving his builder here with a mineshaft. I guess that's not going to do too much. Now really is the time to attack, finish off Belsebub once and for all. There's no way he's going to be able to stop two armies coming in from different directions either. He's barely been able to hold off the army of dwarves. And of course with the powers, that's going to be even worse. Both teams using the 25. Avalanche actually doing very minimal damage to a fortress. So I wouldn't recommend using Avalanche on fortresses in the future if you're planning on doing so. Anyone. Maybe it's because the Dwarven fortress is upgraded, or maybe it's just because it's really terrible against fortresses, I don't know. But they're going for the kill here. And of course, this army hasn't even managed to do anything yet. They're just taking out all the outlying buildings. Looks like Belsebub using an earthquake there. Fortunately, there is a trebuchet, or a troll stone thrower rather. That alone would be enough to finish this fort if left unchecked, which it will be very shortly. Although the barrage finishes them off. There you go. Explosive finish to a long and very well fought game. But yeah, just shows mirrors can be very tricky. Two good players against each other can be very hard to finish. So there you go. That was a pretty enjoyable game though, nonetheless, albeit a very long match. But I hope you guys enjoyed that nonetheless, and I will see you in the next cast of the Rise of the Witch King patch 2.2. So see you guys next time.